I'm back.
It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how has quarantine life affected your day-to-day activities?
Um, I mean, for the most part, I'm a homebody, so it's just affecting more or less my going out to eat and things like that. But I'm home a lot, and then I usually go to New York once a week, to check up on my parents and whatnot. So I haven't done that at all, being that New York is the epicenter. So I've been laying low in New York. But other than that, I'm in the house a lot, so I'm kind of, just going with the flow.
No doubt. Since being quarantined in, what has ChiAli learned about itself?
Um, I learned that being quarantined in the house is nothing like prison. I know that. For the people that think they're in jail, it's like, nah. It's very. This is. I mean, it's pretty cool. Especially, my son is 3, my daughter's 9. They make it fun. My 2 older daughters, they're here. One of them is pregnant, so her and her fiance is here. So we're almost like at our 10-person max, just really with really in-house family. You know what I mean? Just between my wife, myself, the 4 kids. When they boyfriends, damn near be here every day. So it's like, you know. Um, but I'm cool. I mean, I've been actually enjoying it. Saving a little money and really just enjoying my kids. Me and my wife ain't been beefing as much. But, hey,
Right.
it's a beautiful thing. Everything happens for a reason. So for me, I've been blessed to be able to say that for me is maybe it has even been beneficial. Um, I know everybody, some people has lost people. So for the people that lost people, my condolences. And also, some people financially is in a bind, and I tell people because, everybody's like, stay at home and do this, do that. And I'm like, it's a blessing to have that option to stay at home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't getting a stimulus check. Everybody ain't have a job to get from jump. You know what I mean? You got some dudes that hustle that get their money from the street. So you tell them stay at home, all right? But when him and his daughter get hungry, they gotta go out. He gotta go out. He gotta get some money. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You blessed to be able to go and have food. Everybody doesn't have that luxury.
Right.
And it's crazy that something like food is a luxury, but this is the world we live in.
Right. Is there any preparations you're making or taking precaution of just in case the second wave comes down the future?
Um, I mean, as far as the future, no. I mean, I've just been trying to stay healthy and listen to everything they saying, even though they saying different things. Um, for the most part, I mean, if the second wave comes, we'll deal with that when we get there. I'm just, you know, I'm always on my workout shit. I've been squeezing fresh orange juice. I might have missed maybe only about 3-4 days since we started quarantining. So, trying to, stay healthy, drink my juice. I've been taking some elderberries every morning with my juice. Other than that, just I'm on my regular routine. But I do wash. I was one of them dudes that never washed his hands. I
Mm,
definitely wash my hands much more now.
right.
Um, I mean, like I was one of them guys that never washed my hands. So I definitely do that, and I'm very cognizant of like with counting money. I'm one of them dudes that always lick my thumb like when I'm counting money to make sure it don't stick. And like that's no good right now. That's no good ever. It's just it should have been no good for me. You know what I mean? It's just something I just was doing, being ignorant.
Right.
And but so for me, it's definitely corrected some probably ignorant and silly ways. That's a good thing. Like I said, other than the loss of some loved ones, rest in peace, Fred the Godson.
Yes, sir.
And my man Droop lost his mom. My cousin Algie lost his mother. And, I'm sure a bunch of other people I know that we done seen posted through the weeks. You know what I mean? If I'm, not trying to just do a shout out list of everybody that we lost, but, my condolences and much love to everybody that's not with us no more.
Do you think the music is going to change when we get out of this? You think the lyrics are going to be more socially conscious? No more flashiness? You think people will get on the social tip after this?
Probably not. Um, I think the artists, the J. Coles and the Kendricks and the people who were kind of social anyway will definitely delve into it. But I don't think, other than a fancy line or, a hot punchline, I don't think too many people will really delve into it. But then I mean, maybe Kanye. Kanye is kind of mainstream. He's very mainstream, and he may. But as far as like the younger generation, I don't see it. Me personally, I don't see it. I could be wrong. Maybe hopefully I'm wrong, but I just don't. I don't see it.
Well, enough about the virus. Let's get into a little ChiAli history. Can you take us back to where you were born and raised?
From the Bronx, New York. I was born in Jacoby Hospital in Pelham Parkway in the Bronx. Grew up in Co-op City in the Soundview section of the Bronx in both areas. My grandmother and aunts lived in Soundview. My parents and I lived in Co-op, so I was between the two places most of my younger years.
What was the day in the life of ChiAli before music?
Um, I feel like before music, I mean, my younger years before I could remember, like, 3, 4, 5, I don't really remember much, but I think, when I started becoming a, young man, a young, older boy, I just recall like a lot of, just hanging out with my friends. I recall loving music videos. I used to want to DJ back in the days. I remember, Christmas getting my Technique 1200s and my Gemini mixer and going to the Wiz, which was like the only music store in Bay Plaza at the time, if you're familiar with Bay Plaza in the Bronx, when the Wiz was open. And I would spend the bulk of my money, buying 12 inches and come back home and make my little mixtapes and do my thing, At least I thought I was doing my motherfucking thing. Um, so, I mean, for me, that stands out. Like, I recall, like, just walking home from school and just having videos on, doing my homework, when, waiting for Video Soul to play a rap video, hoping they don't play, like, a corny video because, something like when they do the countdown back then, Donnie Simpson may have 1 or 2 rap songs. So if the two was something, certain joints you just look for and certain artists, like I just recall, like I was big on like BDP and Big Daddy Kane and like the whole, my camp, the whole Native Tongue camp. But like Big Daddy Kane and Boogie Down Productions, like KRS-One, like I think Rakim too, but KRS-One, I guess I resonated with him more because he was from the Bronx. I mean, I just recall just wanting to be involved. Like I don't recall wanting to be a rapper or a DJ or a dancer or what specifically. I just recall wanting to be involved.
So eventually you did get involved. Can you take us back to how you got involved with making music?
Um, well, like I said, I grew up in Co-op, and it was a summer Latifah, Queen Latifah, her dancers, Allison and Kika, the Safari sisters, they from Co-op. And they're a few years older than me, but they knew my brothers growing up. And so they knew me, from my older brothers. And I guess it was one summer Latifah was staying in Co-op with them. And it was like that summer, all the rappers used to come through. It was like, they was young at the time. I guess they probably was like 18, 19 with their own crib. So, I mean, from the Jungle Brothers to Special Ed, everybody, EPMD, everybody who was popping like in the late 80s was used to come through. So I guess I used to just be around. Like I don't know how the fuck I used to be around. I guess made myself available as much as possible. And they just took to me. Probably more so, like I said, because Allison and Kika went to school with my brother. So, I was like little Chi, oh, that's Ray, little brother. Oh, come here, he's cute. Oh, you know. So it was that type of thing. And from that, I think I was introduced to Baby Chris because he used to always be over there. Rest in peace, Chris Lighty, as well as Shakim. And I used to hang a lot with them because, when I was over there, most of them was girls like Latifah and like Allison and Kika. Light would be over there, Moni, LaShawn, like everybody, LaShawn from doing it. So Chris and I guess Chris being from the Bronx, we just formed a bond. And I think one day I had went with him to a show at the Apollo Theater with the Jungle Brothers. And I ended up performing with them. And that's really how the shit got popping.
How does Drez fall into the scheme of things? How did you meet Drez, and what was your relationship with him?
I guess I met Drez when I was around, I guess, 11 or 12. When I started running around with Chris, he was managing Black Sheep, and they were recording their first album at the time. And everyone just, me and Drez's resemblance to each other, I guess that's kind of what made us click. And just like Chris was kind of in charge of me, he was managing them. So we would always be in the studio, and then when we would leave the studio, like to get food or whatever, everybody would think we were related, like I was his little brother. So I guess that's kind of what got us cool. And I don't know, like I don't know. I just know that's like my brother. Like, you know, Drez and I lived together. I'm talking about it was a time in my life when I was doing not so good, and you know, he basically sent for me, like, yo, nah, come on, and put me up, you know what I'm saying? And there was a time in his life when, you know, he had baby mama drama. And, you know, he was staying on with me, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that's family. I mean, like, he knows all my brothers, my parents, our kids, you know what I mean? That's family. Well, I think Drez is probably the closest I could get to a brother that ain't my actual blood.
Right. So how did you end up on that debut album on the cut past the 40?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was, you know, Chris's work, as well as probably Dresden Long. I mean, we were by that time, we were together a lot. You got to remember, I was young, so for me, it was like a treat when I got to hang out with them. Not only because, like, when I was with like Chris or with Red Alert, like, if I had a curfew, like, I didn't have no curfew when I was with them. But not just because of that, but just being with Chris and Drez, there was no telling who you was gonna be around, from LL. I mean, I don't know who, anybody who was popping at the time. And you got to realize I'm young. I'm like 12, 13 years old, so I'm very impressionable. And I used to love rap music, you know what I'm saying? Just from watching videos coming home after school. So to really be around these dudes was, to me, was amazing. And that's like I said, I just knew I wanted in. You know what I mean? I wanted in. And I don't know, Drez and I, we just clicked. And I remember, like, every weekend he would take me to Washington Square Park, and we would sit behind the bench, and that nigga would be like, yo, let me hear what you wrote. Like, let me hear what you wrote this week. And, you know, we would spit our little rhymes. And, you know, he didn't introduce me to weed, but I remember, I feel like I was introduced to weed and wasn't fond of it. Or not that I wasn't fond of it. I didn't think I got high like the first time until I smoked. So I was like, yo, the older dudes, I was like, yo, y'all dudes is wasting y'all money. But when I was with Drez, I think that was like the first time I actually like got high. Like and our little, you know, bon voyages in Washington Square Park when we would kick our little raps, you know, and smoke our little weed. And that's when, you know, I fell in love with weed. I fell in love with, you know, just hip hop. And I kind of, you know, I not fell in love with Drez, not no as a homosexual. Like, that's my brother, but like his mind is different. Like, he's so different than 95% of the people you're gonna come across. Like, he's just wild eccentric, in a dope way, like not in a bad way, in a dope way. Like, you know, Drez is just gonna go his own way. Like, if everybody is getting Jordans, Drez is gonna get, you know, some suede Pumas or something. You know what I mean, he's one of them dudes. And but he's dope, and is like he's dope in his own right. Even musically, it's like, if you actually, you know, one of them dudes that listen to MCs and break down music, lyrics rather, um, a lot of his shit will go so far over your head. I'm
Right.
talking about, like, if you don't really study his album and study the song, you'll never even catch it, you know?
Right.
But big shouts to Drez, my motherfucking brother.
Big shout out to DJ Q in the building, GQ,
And big
Bo
shouts to Busy
Crazy,
B.
Busy
Busy, what's
B,
up, baby? I see you.
no doubt. Appreciate y'all
Yo,
joining us.
you know, and when Mo actually told me about this, him and Busy was together and shit. So I just want to shout Busy B out. He's actually, I bumped into him not too long ago in Baltimore. I think we was doing something had happened. It was something going on. I don't know if it was the King Stop Killing Kings rally my son and I was doing or something. But Busy had came out and kicked it with us for a minute. And that was my first time meeting him. And, you know, just want to send my love to a motherfucking legend, a
For sure.
OG. And it's like, I just want to pay homage. I feel like a lot of, I mean, I'm not the younger generation, but I feel like the younger generation now is like, they don't pay homage. And I think that's what builds a lot of resentment with my generation. And, you know, I'm like in between, like, you know what I mean? I'm not younger, but I'm younger than most of my generation
Right.
that I came up with. You know what I mean? So,
Busy was actually speaking on that last night.
but I think, you know, Busy, I mean, Busy, you know, I came up under, you know, motherfucking in the Bronx. So, you know, the rooftop was the shit. Like Brucey B, like to have a Brucey B tape was the shit. So, you know, if you knew, if you had a Brucey B tape, who was hosting it? Busy B was hosting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just, you know, it was it was just dope. And then, I mean, just through the years, I just was always fans of Busy and Bruce. Like, I really grew up, I idolized Brucey B and loved Busy B, like, for real, for real.
Dope.
Like, that's like no cap. I mean, I just love paying homage, and I just feel like it's a sin that a lot of the brothers that paved the way for us ain't straight. I feel like if we got rappers that got hundreds of millions, we should have some type of union or something set up, and it should be retroactive for all of that. I feel like we should want that. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I remember Drez was telling me one day he seen Cool Herc somewhere, and I guess, you know, he was like, man, he looked like, you know, and he was like, yo, man, I felt bad because I didn't have what I should have feel I should have had to be like here. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's outrageous that we don't take care of our legends better, especially that first generation. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like KRS-One and Kane, like that next generation, or they really the third. You know, running them was like the second, but and then, like KRS and Kane and them, it's like they doing a lot of shows today. You know what I mean? Whereas that first generation ain't really, and not only are they not doing shows, but they probably got paid the least out of all of us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They probably got fucked the most and paid the least because they was kids. And I mean, you talking about a record deal back then was like you was the man. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, I just want to pay respect and try to encourage a lot of the younger generation to pay homage to the OGs, and I also want to encourage the OGs, you know, to welcome the young G's with open arms, because it's like a lot of times it feels like we trying to penalize the young boys, kind of just for when they was born, like you can't help when you was born, like, oh, you young motherfuckers, that ain't you, like shit. I'm
Right.
saying, if you 40 and your son is 20, y'all not supposed to listen to the same music. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? When I was listening to Run and the Fat Boys, my pops wasn't saying, oh, this shit is going to be $1 billion business in 30 years. He
Right.
was saying, oh, they sampling. That ain't music. They sampling and stealing James Brown shit. Now
Right.
we saying, oh, that ain't rap. They mumbling. You know, it's just we sound like we the old niggas. We the fathers now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just like, why the fuck would a 20-year-old kid want to be listening to what his pops listen to? It's just we feel young, so we don't feel like they should really be looking at us like pops. You know what I mean? We like, nigga, what? Nigga,
Right.
what? I still get it funky, nigga. I still bust a move, you know? But salute to the young and the old, man. Everybody, we all need each other, and we got to pay homage to each other, you know? Because the young is doing their motherfucking thing, just like the old niggas paved the way.
No doubt. While you was out there doing your thing as a youngster, how did your parents react? Were they very supportive in you hanging out with the older heads?
Yeah. I mean, my pops, once shit really started rolling, was my manager. So you know, he was definitely supportive. But both of them were supportive. Only thing they pushed back when, you know, with I used to smoke a lot, you know, and I was probably at the time 15, 16, 17. So I don't even think, you know, my dad's been in AA and in a I'm 44. I'll be 44 this month. And probably 38 years, maybe 39 years. So